time out. I mean, if they just picked up a couple more kills, I think that they would be contesting up towards the top of this.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The ideas are great. Now it's just practicing your execution, practicing your peeking, practicing your shooting. The micro part of the game, as a lot of people like to describe it.
And you know where a great place to do that is?
You tell me.
Sandhawk, where everything gets all spicy
or
and
Karrakin.
fun. Karrakin too, but, well, maybe one day we will see that happen. I mean, we saw gliders earlier today, and we saw pro players use gliders. That made me ridiculously happy, so at least buys a little bit more time before we see any other maps coming into rotation. So now it's really just a separation out. A big factor comes into be this very first circle, specifically on this map, due to the way that we see these rivers just bisect and separate out all these different islands. Going to make rotations interesting depending on how that circle goes.
Yeah, of course, you and I, since we've gotten all the Sandhawk games, we have seen 2 southwestern circles so far. Let's see where exactly this one is going to find itself. It doesn't look like anybody's really going to be fighting too much in the early game here. Everything seems to be very standard.
North, please. I just want to see a northern circle. Once, while we've been here inside of GLL, we just keep constantly getting those southern circles. So there we go. Got a little bit of fun up there. We do have that western island that's in play and a couple of teams that have committed over towards it. But really, we've got the river that's just cutting right through this section of the island. That's going to make it very difficult.
Yeah, this one most likely will end up on the east side, potentially around the Paradise area. We'll see. Of course, I no longer try to predict where circles go, Matchroom, because when it comes to you and me casting together, we get circles that go wherever they damn well please.
This is true, but we've got Exodus actually playing down inside a quarry, which is a dangerous position. You know, I'm very afraid to play inside of this spot, but they often talk about how strong they are, so let's go ahead and listen in to the guys talk about Exodus.
I think our team is very strong mechanically, and I think if we can have consistent rotations, I think we wipe most of the teams that we fight in our games. The 2 teams I like wiping the most are Team Liquid and Wildcard. Team Liquid are some of my greatest friends, and Wildcard are not some of my greatest friends, so that's why.
When does the trash talk stop? I mean, good Lord, I love this so far. Everybody is just finally just like, nope, that's it. I'm just letting all the truth out from this point forward.
The gloves are off. It's really interesting because, yeah, actually, like, the Team Liquid guys, super, super nice dudes. A grenade up to Highwind. Highwind, the hero, but right on top of him.
That was perfectly cooked, just lands right on top of his face, and there's just nothing you can do about that one. You got to spot that one before it's coming in. And guess what? To start it off, let's just go ahead and give a point over to WTSG because, by God, we know that they need them.
Anybody but them. Anybody but them.
Jump into the water.
Everyone in the lobby.
At least deny the loot from them. Make it hard for them. But they don't even care. They're just driving off like, yeah, okay, we know we got that. Whatever. Metagaming is going to be back off towards the west of WTSG, but WTSG now stretching out, deciding the fact that they don't want to play that island location. Going to regroup just a little bit more, but back over towards their east, we're going to see it's going to be Tornado Energy as well as Na'Vi. But surprise, surprise, when it comes towards the middle of the map, guess who's there? Team Liquid. Always. Team Liquid.
I knew who it was, and I was just going to give you a dramatic pause and let you finish it yourself.
Let me speak in Shatner-esque phrases. See how it is.
I mean, we can do the rest of this cast in a Shatner style.
I cannot wait.
If you want. Team Liquid.
We're Team Liquid to continue. No, Athletico, please. Not like this. Not
you
like
broke
this
it.
movement.
You broke character.
I know. Well, I'm sorry. I got excited whenever I see it. All right, so they're pretty far away, so they should be perfectly fine. They're not even have anybody near them, but I'm kind of wondering how that one comes through. And look at that. Nice guy leaving back behind the first aid even. So that's whenever you know whose fault it is. It's like,
my bad, bro.
There you go. You earned that one. I don't know how that happened, but we'll just continue forward. But so we've got Singularity that's going to have to make their way up towards the north. Oath, Athletico is approaching over towards OMK. Athletico being a little bit more happy taking these fights, feeling a little bit more comfortable, but it's going to be T-Bone, who we know is fragging out of his mind right now. That's going to be approaching right next to Athletico, and you can hear the problem using vehicles to rotate on Sandhawk, because guess who knows right where you're going to be walking from? That's going to be an easy pickup going over towards T-Bone.
T-Bone is such a smart point man, just prones right down, knowing that the top of the hill is going to be where this scout player for Athletico wants to go, waits there, throws a grenade in the window just in case somebody's trying to catch him off guard. Easy point for T-Bone and Omican.
So this is where I like to contemplate the effects of one action into another inside of Battle Royale. So we saw Athletico accidentally run over each other, slowed them down. Now the question comes into play that I have whenever these moments happen. Does the slowing down means the fact that Athletico now didn't push all the way into Omegan and die? Or would it mean the fact that now just having one member by themselves allowed T-Bone to just get an easy kill back over there? It's one of those things I like to go back and watch inside the VODs and see how they stack up against each other, as every single action side this game from every team just leads into a further progressing storyline and more decision making.
Yeah, it becomes a chicken and an egg situation, right? You're not sure which it is. A lot of times in the moment, it's kind of hard to tell, but as you go back and watch the VODs, it becomes a little more clear as a fight breaking out between Team Liquid and Wildcard.
And don't forget FaZe just kind of hiding off to the side of this, not really getting involved, just having shots go over their heads as Keenan's going to take a little bit of damage, but be able to med that one up. Game on, the Liquid boys looking off the side of this. Jong is just right in the thick of Tornado Energy. Does have it down, but he's finally getting some support coming back over for it, so Ira's just going to go ahead and pick up as well. So this is going to make it a little bit more difficult for the guys from Tornado Energy, as they have a very aggressive and comfortable WTSG that's perfectly fine taking a fight anytime they want.
Oh, if I'm WTSG right here, I'm just practicing my ability to push compounds. That's all I'm doing. I want to take this fight. It started off the way you want, so try to get in there early and quickly, especially on Sandhawk, where if these fights prolong too far, then, you know, other teams come in and third party.
Beautiful reposition coming up from Vard. Look at that. He's just got vision down into that building complex. He can do so much work. Ira holding down the other line. I'm almost starting to feel like WTSG might be a little bit mad at the amount of kills that Metagaming got with a win, and like, hey, don't you dare try to steal our thunder. We're going to go ahead and try to outdo you.
I hope so. I'm all down for that. I mean, I would love for them to put an exclamation point on this tournament, really solidify themselves as the best team here, really show everyone that not just in this tournament, but in the world, you need to be scared of this team going forward.
Tornado Energy not really wanting to take any peeks, and that feels like what WTSG was waiting for. That's going to allow Navi to kind of creep up back behind them. Metagaming is still creeping up back behind that, not wanting to get too contentious inside of these fights, but back down towards the south, it's getting a little bit complex as these guys are all caught up around Painan, as Uter does manage to spot out Raspu as they're trying to cross the bridge, and we all know how much fun that can be.
Yeah, ooh dear, taking a couple pops from Rusty Zera there. Gonna have to get the first aid kit going, and there's still quite a bit of river inside of this, but it went a little further south than maybe some players would expect, and it didn't go as far east as probably some teams would think, so the middle of boot camp going to be right about where the center is for now.
That is a very sneaky angle coming out from Shiv there, just taking a couple of tap shots right across the bridge, but then magically disappearing back behind it. But now look, we've got FaZe, Liquid, and Wildcard all getting into a very fun position down towards the bottom of these hills. Looks like everybody's thinking about going for these same buildings, but it's going to be FaZe that was over there first. Now everybody kind of stopping in their tracks, trying to react and figure out, okay, what do we do? How do we reposition back away from this? And it's going to be Wildcard stepping away from it.
Too often we're seeing the red Canids with red underneath their names, and there goes Kemba Miraku pushing through. WTSG not afraid of anyone or anything. They are just completely clearing out the northern part of this circle.
Okay, they are just driving around hunting kills at this point is what I feel. Okay, there's going to be 3 of them inside of one of these trucks, just hauling ass around different parts of Sandhawk, trying to see if they can spot out anybody. If this ends up happening, I feel bad for everybody in this lobby.
They going for a good old-fashioned drive-by? No, they're just regrouping with Iro. I didn't think they would do that. It's really hard to do it in that pickup truck. That thing is slow. No, none of the vehicles on this map are all that good. Monkey gets into the back of Rusty Zera. Nope, Rusty, you almost got it. 7 health left there, and there go the red Canids. Exalt Gaming going to clean them up.
Exalt started this event with a phenomenal set of games. They were actually up towards the top, #1 on the leaderboard whenever we were looking at them. And then they just kind of had a couple of different issues that have popped up along through this. FaZe does get spotted out, but the K-Mine gets knocked in return. This is turning into that full 3v3 fight that we saw between all of these teams. Wildcard making their push down the hillside. As you can see, Eevee trying to get a flank back around towards it. So it is FaZe, Liquid, and Wildcard all in very close range to each other.
Yeah, Wildcard, another very good Sandhawk team. They were the best Sandhawk team in the qualifiers for this event in the Americas, in the North America region, and they get a kill there onto a member of FaZe. Vegas going to get a knock, trying to get the flush. Indeed, he does. Good shooting with that QBU from Vegas, looking to capitalize and build on that momentum they got in the first game.
Exodus does get a spot back over towards Oath, taking a couple of shots into the smoke to get a little bit more control. Also, due to the fact that we did have WTSG, looks like they're trying to encroach back over next to Meta, so long-range skirmishes happening on different parts, and look at this confidence coming out from Vegas. He's just standing on top of the rock, getting a lot of information, trying to work with it, but Metagaming, I don't know if this is a team you really want to harass right now. You know that whole like poking the bear situation? I don't know if you want to do that with Zhang right now.
Well, I don't think they have any choice. VHZ is down in the water. The other 3 members of Meta are on the other side, or just other 2, excuse me. And there's nowhere for them to go. They have to try to get onto the other side, and they were hoping that no one would swing around to this side of boot camp. But like you were talking about earlier, WTSG is just roaming around farming.
You can see Atletico do manage to find a complex, but do get spotted out from Singularity, sticking to the trend on how they like to play, just using that time to get information, not trying to make an approach yet, just seeing what's happening with this. And I do like this. We often see them play high ground position so that way they can know exactly where everybody's moving around them, so that way they can make those smart rotations.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the most important things you have to do in competitive PUBG. You can't just run around as you damn well please. Now, this circle, about what you would expect now, finally getting away from the water, of course, as is what should be happening. An example, stuck behind a rock. I'm not sure if Bestelach knows he's there or not. He's not making a ton of noise. If you're crouched, ladies and gentlemen, just keep this in mind. You make a ton less noise. It is so hard to hear your footsteps if you're crouched and just kind of moving around. But never mind. Oh, no. Ivel spots him out. All for naught. But is it going to get stolen? Yes. Bestelach steals it.
Just sitting there chilling, waiting for Bestelach to walk around the corner, and instead just gets tapped down, and Bestelach is like, what the hell is going on over here? Oh yeah, I'll go ahead and take that point. Thank you very much. Team Liquid still finding themselves in an interesting situation right next to Wildcard. FaZe did separate out a little bit, but IG keeps looking back down their direction, not wanting to approach these hills, and I do think that's because of the defensive line that you can see coming out from Jeems and Ibiza, and let's be real, that is a scary defensive line you walk into.
What in the world is Freekill doing? I have never seen anyone even think about going inside of this, and he's prone down in a bush. This is either like 200 IQ or time to go back to school.
This feels like it's EB and Mixie taking some shots at you while you got shoot to kill back behind you, and you're just like, where is somewhere they cannot shoot me at? I'm just going to go ahead and opt into this spot. Because playing defensively inside of there, they're already down to just their 2 members. I feel like they're just playing scared off of it. They just have to try to survive. Meanwhile, you can see WTSG still out looking for those metagaming guys that were trying to make their cross through the river, and it's going to be a difficult choice no matter how you try to opt into this, because you got Vard in a very high ground spot.
Well, really good stuff here from WTSG, making sure that 100% metagaming is not going to come up behind them. They want their western flank completely empty, so they have nothing to worry about as they need to most likely push forward.
Oh no, Meta is going to go ahead and hop into a vehicle and circle back around through this, but one action leading into another. Look, it's Exalt. Remember they were on this bridge a little while ago? Well, you're about to drive by a couple of crates and realize that this is going to be a very scary decision. 2 members get down almost instantly, and there we go. Now it is just one guy up and alive, and that's VHZ. Where are you going to go? Because WTSG has spotted you out. Good shots to buy at least a little bit more space. But VHZ is not even inside the safe zone. And Exalt hears this and also trying to third party on top of it. So while you have WTSG on one side, it's going to be Udyr taking pot shots at VHZ on the other side. Wide out and in the open, and just has to run back into the water.
He's just able to narrowly avoid death. Turning around, some really good shooting from VHZ, but it's most likely all going to be for naught. He has basically no health left. The grenades and other things, if they come down on top of him, never mind. He's just going to let it go.
I'm having flashbacks to the early days of PUBG when everybody just floated into the water, just running into the water for safety, just being like, please save me. But Crate actually gets overlooked, which can happen sometimes inside of Sandhawk. Really, it's kind of a risky one to go for anyway, but circle pops, and there we go. Sooner or later, the circle has to go south.
Yeah, absolutely. The boot camp area now, everybody that has to come from the north, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. You have that big old swamp in the middle that's very, very impossible to traverse, basically, as long as no one happens to be watching it. Ibiza, he is looking for, he had some of that level 3 gear. Good spray from Balefrost. He sees another one, trying to get the peaks, only gets a little bit of damage.
That is a dirty angle Balefrost is holding. Shimboy just trying to hold back up against the wall, now realizing there is nowhere else that he can potentially move to. Got Exodus still just trying to roll high off of that last game. Singularity now spotting out Exalt. Looked like they were starting to get a little bit more aggressive, which I would love to see coming out of them, but not quite taking the push yet. Still trying to see how Exalt's trying to make their move.
Yep, Harald gonna cook a grenade, try and get it to roll down to Nalep there, but Nalep is moving away from it. Heard it, no problem. Harold did spot him out again, doesn't even cook that one, just gonna throw it down the hill. That's gonna give quite a bit of time for Nalep to move, throw a grenade of his own. Doesn't look like it comes even close to Harald though.
That's a problem when you're trying to throw these grenades uphill on these high incline positions inside of Sandhawk. It's just so difficult. Meanwhile, other difficult things that happen inside of Sandhawk is having to use a lot of your smokes and utility because you just cannot make it over towards the safe zone. Shoot to Kill being caught up with that fight with Tornado Energy. They both kind of stalled each other, but right to the south of that is going to be OMK that's trying to take shots at them as well. So Shoot to Kill, trying to get those kills back over towards Tornado Energy, are going to find themselves in a very tough predicament with OMK holding them out.
Yeah, OMK, they are hungry for some third parties. Exalt, in the meantime, in a fight with Singularity, a lot of damage being done, but Harald is able to get a knock onto Udyr. Monkey trying to put some shots in the door, immediately taking some return fire from Kodak. Tons of smokes coming down. That's going to block the vision of Singularity. Let's see how Exalt wants to move.
Exalt sitting on 6 kills, but only 1 member up and alive at the time, trying to figure out how they're going to move through this. Singularity, firm defensive position right next to it. WTSG has now looked like they're going to make this push over next towards Wildcard. They're going to have Navi that's creeping up back behind him, so that's going to be something you have to be very cautious about. Let's not forget there's a lot of damage coming out from multiple angles. Wildcard doesn't really have angles that they can work with. Keating gets a grenade back over towards him, does a little bit of damage, but Wooly very hesitant to go for this peek as Vart is just holding it for so long. It's really about how these positions are coming out. Everybody is just stacked on top of each other. WTSG has found themselves being sandwiched between 2 teams that are trying to pick up more kills.
Yeah, Navi swinging around on the backside. Now it is just Vard up. He is the only one alive for WTSG. He did get a nice little grenade and a kill, but oops. Nope. Wooly says no way.
That was a good shot. And just streamline that right through there, but Navi now has to continue that push next to Wildcard. But remember, they've been neighbors with Team Liquid for quite a while, who looks like they're going to try to go into a little bit of a position, get inside the safe zone, and hold out Wildcard and Navi both.
There is a crate that's going to be dropping in the direction of Omakan. They desperately need to just absolutely frag out this game, get the win. They're going to need a couple wins in a row to do anything about this. Shinboy is snaking below Balefrost still. They have been there for a long time.
Really, it's Balefrost just holding them out, saying you're not allowed to go anywhere, and Shinboy is very aware of that and just having to stay inside that position. So, now, Atletico, with a little bit of a reposition coming out from Flood, does manage to get them in the safe zone, but they have to be very cautious as they have Singularity trying to make their approach. Looking back over towards FaZe's direction, though. FaZe, should be noted, not inside the safe zone either. There's going to be a big, messy fight probably happening in just a second, as most of the buildings are going to leave the safe zone at this point, and everybody towards the west is going to have some good sight lines towards each other, and that's going to make a lot of third-party fiesta.
Yeah, Keenan just found Gustav with a quick knock and flush. Speaking of quick, this guy is getting shot at by Uba, and that is scary, 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 but there is a rock and some smoke, so he's able to get under cover for now. Uba continuing to put shots on. Now he's found the angle. He gets it onto Pome, and that is going to be Pome going down.
You always got to expect at some point Uba is going to find that angle for it. Manages to follow it up with a nice spray as well. Singularity just has Uba holding them back entirely. Navi gets eliminated as well. It's going to be Atletico trying to make this push forward, but there's one Singularity member right next to Nick who does spot him out. Kodak's going to at least pick up one more kill before he gets spotted, and Team Singularity goes out.
Yep, nice job there by Kodak to be patient, at least get a point, making something out of nothing, essentially. Atletico, a couple of their members are up in one of the shacks on the southern part of the circle. Still, somehow, Shinboy alive. Balefrost is on guard duty for him. 8Z, the only member alive for FaZe, taking a bunch of damage from Sharp Shot and the other members of Wildcard. He does not have much room to maneuver. He's found just enough of an angle, though.
I like how he's looking left and right, like, which way do I go? Like, what do I do? He's probably talking to his teammates like, do you guys have an idea on which way I should safely go? Atletico still holding the line back over for that, as we have had the new circle pop. Now, Wildcard going to have to make their approach, as well as the last member coming up from IG, who's going to have to sneak his way right past Team Liquid, who is just waiting there. You can see, looking back his direction, that's not going to go too well. So, really, it's about how Team Liquid wants to try to contend with Wildcard, taking the shots back over towards Wool.
Yeah, Wooly's able to get a little bit behind that tree, so Mexi not connecting any shots of his own. Ibiza He's looking over to the right, trying to catch the trailing members of Wildcard. James is going to find Ostrolovac, and Inside Games will go down in 7th place.
And that gives so much control back over towards Team Liquid. They were having to commit resources to make sure that no sneaky snakes came up back behind them. And now they know they have most of the western part of the circle completely on their own. Wildcard's now looking back over on this other angle for trying to make the push away from Team Liquid, but they're just getting aggressed on back behind them, and really it's just about this hill. You can see Team Liquid is just repositioning around it and taking fights on both sides, completely comfortable.
Yeah, this is really nice stuff from Liquid. They've got a bit of a high ground slope to work with for themselves. Athletico Zoid Mate going down to James there. I think a little bit of help from some members of Exodus as well. We're down to 4 teams, but 13 alive. So 3 of these teams have 4 people, and it is just the lone Flood for Athletico.
Team Liquid's had a lot of noisy neighbors for quite a while, but FaZe now out. It's going to be Wildcard out. Let's go ahead and add in Athletico as well. So now Team Liquid looking back over towards OMK, who's holding down the safe zone right now, but there are 3 4-man squads still up and alive.
This is an ideal finish for a Sandhawk game. 3 squads, full strength. Who is going to pull the trigger first? Because in a lot of situations like this, the team that aggresses first is the one that ends up losing because the other teams turn and focus on them. They hear those shots. Their first reaction is to just go and look at wherever that noise is coming from.
So 8 kills stacked up for Team Liquid right now. Exodus sitting on 4. Back behind that's going to be OMK sitting on 3. Looks like Liquid has decided their next aggression point is going to be back over towards Exodus, but OMK is using that opportunity to reposition. And it's going to put Team Liquid into a pincered point where they have 2 different teams that are taking shots on opposite angles. That's really going to make Team Liquid's life much harder as they're now playing off of the back foot. Not a lot of space to work with, but finally Team Liquid starting to connect with these shots, taking down one member of both squads almost simultaneously.
Wow, fighting on 2 fronts and making it work. Extremely difficult, extremely well executed so far by Team Liquid. They are finding out T-Bone, the strongest member so far in this tournament of Omican. Page in the middle with that MK14. A lot of good utility available for him. A couple smokes, throws down the Molly as well. Let's see if he can hold down this center position. Omican has the circle, but they're down a member.
Exodus hasn't been able to push up and forward onto this. It's all about OMK taking these shots back towards Team Liquid while Team Liquid is trying to stay focused on Exodus. Finally, Team Liquid looks back over towards OMK, and Exodus is starting to make their move back over towards the circle. That's going to make more aggression points back towards Team Liquid. You can see their backs are against that blue wall right now and not a lot of space to work with. The shots from Balefrost are going to connect and a near on instant flush. We're going to have just a few members up for Team Liquid now trying to figure out how they're going to hold this position as so much territory is just being taken away from them.
Yeah, Team Liquid started this and they're trying to finish this. Exodus gets down on him, but a good angle from Page, but he is knocked as well. Exodus doing a great job, but it is just Vegas left, trying to go one-on-one with Ival. The sprays aren't connecting. Ival is back behind the rock. Vegas isn't going to get it. Omican is going to get the win.
6 kills, but another victory showing up for OMK. Good performance coming out of